Hello, my dears. So I get the common ask of talking about how to get over an ex, or a breakup or heartbreak. So today I'll be sharing some journal entries of when I got over my ex. This is what my journal looks like. Oh, upside down. From the year of 2023. It's kind of cute. So this whole journal doesn't only have me getting over my ex. It actually has a lot of me falling in love with him, us going through our issues, me falling out of love with him, and me getting over him. It's a big roller coaster in there. Okay. 8:51. I heard a car lock beep. My heart hopes and wishes it's him, but my mind knows it's not. My body tenses as the window of his knock closes. You're delusional, Lucy. It's too dark for him to drive. This isn't true. And you're right. He could drive if he wanted to. 2 minutes have passed. No knock. Mourn and mourn and mourn. Everywhere I look, I feel death. Death of my love for him. How it could have been revived. How it will not be. It's okay, Lucy. I know you wish to skip this, and it will take a long time. Do not rush it, or it will linger. So even in my heartbreak, I knew that if I skipped this chapter of grief, I would have to go back in the future at some point and revisit it, because I will have to finish it, and it's whether I finish it now or later. But I had to truly bask in this sadness in order for it to pass. Our love was hurting near the end. Dare I say it always was. We just masked it with ample communication. I didn't want to change him, but I did want him to grow up. Those are two very similar things. 11:28. I took my first real breath in this apartment. I reclaimed it as mine, and she is listening. I want to keep its energy safe. Sorry, home, for neglecting you. I blamed you a lot for my unhappiness. I think I was just unhappy. I'm glad I got the time to organize all of your departments and tend to you. I used to spend a lot of time at his apartment to the point where my belongings were pretty much split in half. This entry was when I officially 100% moved into my own space. I took a huge appreciation for my apartment. I apologized. I apologized to my apartment. I said, I'm so sorry that I neglected you. But I'm here now, so. It's crazy how you treat your home, it will give it right back to you. So I really did learn a lesson there with my environment specifically, being selective with who I invite into my space. The world feels so much brighter. I'm quite excited to be Lucy again. I no longer had to have this meshed title. I was no longer doing a collaboration with my life. I was completely an individual again. I wasn't ready to stop being Lucy. And I'm not saying you will lose your identity when you fall into love. That's not what I'm saying. And see the voicemail that you sent me saying of how much you loved me and how grateful you were for me. That was only 2 weeks ago. I feel confused, but mostly just sad. So in these journal entries, you're gonna see a lot of ups and downs of like, great, I feel awesome. Oh, I don't. Now the world is my oyster. Oh, I thought you were my world. One of the main things my therapist said, the 5 stages of grief are kind of BS. It's not going to be so clear-cut and linear. It's gonna be up and down. Maybe it'll even go backwards. Maybe you'll jump 5 stages ahead and then maybe you'll jump 2 back. It's really for your emotions to take part of this roller coaster, and all you have to do is just strap in and buckle in. You're gonna have to sit through this ride. You're gonna have to sit through it. And then once you finish the roller coaster, then you are allowed off. But if you keep fighting it, if you keep deciding that I am the person that has the controls on the control panel, I'm the one that can say when this roller coaster is gonna end. No, let your hands go. There is someone else manning the controls, You are in the seat. You just have to wait until the roller coaster is over. And then you can step off and you can dilly-dally about for the rest of your life. This one I think is kind of crazy. I go from dancing on my walk to forcing myself to listen to your playlist labeled For Lucy. My tears are pouring knowing that these are the songs that reminded you of me, and you once were so heavily in love with me. Yeah, that was a moment. I forced myself to listen to every song that reminded me of him. I'd say that was a pretty amazing tactic. I submerged myself into the soundtrack of when we were falling in love. I allowed myself to completely sob through every single lyric and through every single memory I had attached to these songs. Now I can say that I can listen to the song and not feel anything from it because I put all of my emotional points out there. I can't cry any harder than I did that day to that song or those songs. Instead of shying away from the material of my last love, I dove into it. I dove into it like a 10-foot pool, and then now your girl can swim a lot faster. 10:07. I woke up a little sad. Not sure, but I think I miss him. But I already forgot what he looks like. Why didn't you just sit me down for a proper conversation? Why didn't... ... It doesn't matter now, for he sent me a text with only sourness, and I believe I have given him every ounce of sugar I had. 10:03 a.m. Work feels great. There's so many people here I want to get to know. My head hurts a tad. Dreamt of a reality where I needed help. He was there, but we could no longer help each other. It does suck when your favorite person in the world, there's just like an invisible rule. There's no more reason for us to continue any sort of communication with each other, even if it's to help each other. 6 p.m. I don't think I love him anymore. I'm also skipping around because throughout these journal entries, you get to see me talk about a lot of other things outside of the heartbreak, which is extremely beautiful. I start talking about how I went to a temple with my best friend and a monk got one of our numbers. According to him, I'm from Malaysia. That was right after the I don't think I love him anymore. Sylvia asked me how my boyfriend was, and I said we broke up. In all caps. She shook my hand. Congratulations! Y'all were incompatible, and now you're free. You look great. She recommended me to write a letter because she can see my energy is still connected. Pretty inspired to be creative again. Like, I think I'm gonna be a YouTuber. Or a songwriter, actress, friend, who knows. It really does warm my heart to see the progression of where my mind was only able to thinking about how my heart was broken. This wasn't even a month, it was just a couple weeks where the world becomes so much more bigger and there is a lot more to life than the love of one person. There is a lot more space for you to love so many other people around you, so many things that you haven't discovered yet, so many jobs that like really will be excited to wake up in the morning to go to. 8 a.m. I had a dream I missed him. I told him, and he said he missed me too. And then he changed his mind. That's so funny. I'm like, what was my subconscious thinking about to make that dream? That's so funny. Oh, my trust is shattered. Perhaps it was time it was tested and broken, so I may learn more for the future. Thank you for the lesson. 11:17 a.m. I hope you are okay. Yes, you hurt me. Detaching from you feels good, but my dear, please be okay. Before I wanted you to be better off for the worse because of my selfishness. But here I go again, still caring for you before me. Went to an estate sale, ate Thai food, did laundry, watched a movie, had a dance party in order to conquer my decorated bedroom. I think this is the first day I haven't cried about him. Also, I think I know what camera I'm gonna get. A Sony. I recall telling him long ago, I can give you all of my words, but You need to start collecting them. I visually saw my words bounce off of his head. I remember this conversation. Once again, Hope really told me to stick it out. 12:35. Damn, I miss him. There's an empty space in my life that used to be filled with just him. Whether it was good or bad, it was all just gone. The very next line. LOL, I saw my therapist today. She slayed. Once again, the stages of grief are just whatever you feel. It's gonna go all over the place, and honestly expect it to be all over the place. Don't beat yourself down. I feel like that's the easiest way to keep being heartbroken, is just beating yourself down whenever you revisit an emotion that you don't particularly want to, or you think you got over it. Like, let the rerun go through its course, and then the chances of it coming back are going to be less, versus the more like you beat it down, literal suppression. So if we're feeling really, really angry, then allow that. Like, sit with the anger and figure out as to why you're even angry. Are you angry at them for having not listened to you? Or are you angry at yourself that you didn't stick up for yourself when you weren't being heard? So sit with whatever emotion it has to be, but don't let it take over your body, because if the anger takes over your body, who knows what impulsive, reckless action would follow after. What really helped me move on was how I left with grace. I can say I don't regret how ugly or nasty things got at the end, because honestly, it didn't get ugly or nasty, it just got quiet. Relationships are consensual. There has to be 2 yeses in order for it to proceed. Once I got the hint of a no and the actual confirmation of a no, it was like, okay, I will not be here to convince you to say yes. No matter how close I thought we were, or no matter how close we actually were, your no is telling me right now, you no longer want that closeness with me. And that's okay. Despite all of the words and the promises of you are my forever, what got me to leave the apartment was when I was packing up my things, and I told myself, breakups happen all the time. I have yet to be in a relationship where it didn't end up in a breakup. So what's one more? And that's not to set pity party for me. It's just the reality, a reminder of you have gotten through so many heartbreaks before. This one you may have thought was different, but it's not. And you'll be able to pick yourself back up. I believe in you, and I know you can do it. Little did I know that I was gonna gain so much of myself back from that decision, or even just so much of myself new. The space that had been him wasn't just refilled with a past version of myself. Like, okay, good old original Lucy is back. It was like, oh, there's so much more space for me to just try so many new things and grow within that hole he left. Yeah, I mean, I bought a camera after we broke up, and look at where I am now. I am so grateful for everybody that enjoys my speaking. I have truly grown so much just within my internal mindset of how I view life, how I view love, how I view relationships, or even what I want to do, what my purpose is. I think once I stopped demonizing breakups and started seeing them as such a really true blessing, they're almost like a rite of passage of a new me. And that's not to say, okay, get into a relationship to break up with them so you can reinvent yourself. I think there's a difference between reinventing and growing. I had the beautiful opportunity to grow from my heartbreaks. In a way, you can say that I romanticized them. I romanticized my heartbreaks because I have tried the other side of the situation, of where I wallowed, of where I fell into routines that did not fulfill me. I've done it already, and even if it wasn't super dark, it wasn't very bright. If I can feel light from my last love, I can feel light within myself too. Okay, so this is the last entry. Wow, it was January 29th. I said, "Hey Notes, thanks for having been there for me. The days are busy and full of love with my people. I can't wait to keep being creative and to hear myself again. I love you, Notes app /journal. Thank you for having listened to me when I didn't feel heard. Thank you for helping me understand on what to hear. I can't wait, ... for everything. That's so cute. This wasn't necessarily a step-by-step tutorial on how to get over your ex, but hopefully my journal entries are able to help you find some clarity. So please let me know in the comments on what else y'all would like to hear me talk about. Follow me on Instagram because I post my poetry on there as well as ask questions, so please let me know. I wish you extremely immersive books and floss to clean your teeth. Thank you so much, my dears, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.